Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to offer a guide on how to save HP. If you manage to save HP during each battle more successfully, you will trade better, make more damage and become an overall better player. So how does it work? Well, let's find out in this video. In World of Tanks, it's all about preserving your HP as good as you can. In fact, you want to make it as hard as possible for your opponent to take away your hit points. And that is what above average players manage to achieve. They reach double or thrice the damage compared to their HP lost. In this video, I will show you how this works. We will start off with the easy way, a situation in which your tank has armor that you can use to your advantage. However, I will later on also show you how you can save HP with a tank which does not offer any armor. So without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay and see how we can become a better player. So first battle, we are playing the WK4502B. The tier 9 German heavy tank, which leads to the Panzer 7. And I chose this replay because it teaches the easiest lesson, I would say. The best way and the easiest way to preserve your HP, of course, is to use your armor. Now, having that said, what you have to do is you have to take a closer look at the armor profile of your tank. You have to understand the weak spots, you have to understand this, you have to understand the strong portions or the strong parts of your armor, and you have to understand the weaknesses, because most of the tanks have weak spots. So let's quickly take a look at tanks.gg and find out how the armor profile of this tank looks like. Alright, armor profile of the WK4502B. So as you can see, the tank is armored pretty nicely. Strong upper hull, strong turret, weak spot on top, and then the lower hull is the weak spot. Now if you load, or if the adversary would load some kind of premium ammunition, then some things changes. The upper hull is still pretty strong. The lower hull is the weak spot, and then the frontal portion of the turret also becomes a weak spot. But what you can do is you can try to side scrape in this tank, because then you will make the lower hull at least a little bit harder to penetrate. Plus, of course, if you would imagine a building being right here, you can basically hide this weak spot behind you know, some cover, and then the only chance of your adversary tank to penetrate you is to once again hit the cupola or the side of the gun, which makes it or which is not too easy, because the size is actually relatively small. And we are back. So this tank is a side scraper. It does not have too much gun depression, so this is actually not the best map for this tank, but I thought I do need to support the heavy tanks on this heavy brawling area right here, simply because I am a top tier tank and I do not want to let my teammates alone, and thus increase the chance that they will lose this strategic position right here. But I can go to this side of this little area here and try to use my armor as it is, as it should be. I need to basically hide my lower plate, and then the other thing is I want to find a side scraping position. That's what I want to do. So let's see whether we can achieve this. This tank has been taken out. Excellent. And so now I want to, let's see, position my tank so that I can once again, yeah, there's a tank behind us, which is not too good, so that I can, yeah, and he can take a shot onto me, which is not great. So yeah, sometimes it is pretty difficult to position your tank accordingly, but that's just how it is, and that's a circumstance that you have to deal with. That's just how it is. But you always want to understand the armor profile of your tank and then find the respective spot on the map where you can exploit the strength of your armor profile. That's what you want to do. And so even if you are on a hull down map, but you're not sitting in a hull-down tank, you have to kind of flex the position in order to exploit the strength of your tank. This is what you want to do, and if you know the armor profile of your tank and if you know how to exploit it, then you can be successful because you can save your HP much easier in the game and thus be a much more dangerous tank, and also increase the damage simply because you will not take so much damage in your game. So far we only made one shot, which is not a pretty decent result. So let's fall back and let's try to make this tank work. But as you can see, at least I managed to preserve my HP, and we will soon find a spot from which we can make use of our tank. The VK45 oooBRUCEooo is obviously a relatively slow tank, so it takes quite a while until we can relocate. You know what? Let's continue our journey to those tanks. Meanwhile, we bounce some shots because I want to finally get into a position out of which I can make use of my armor. So let's bounce this shot from the AAT-60 and let's use auto aim. No, actually, here you go. Nice. That's and so yeah. So let's you know what? Let's face hack him. Let's angle our armor, or let's angle our tank so that he bounces shots, and then let's take a shot into his lower hull. Unfortunately, we bounce. Now we need to close the gap between him and me. Nice. As we angle our tank, he bounces again, and so now we should be able to take him out. Let's see. Hopefully we're not as unlucky as before. Excellent. We can take him out. And so yeah, we bounced 2,400 damage. We already made 1,300 damage, and we still are not full HP due to this one shot, but close to being full HP. So this is how you want to play a tank if it offers some armor. You want to understand the armor profile and then play the tank accordingly to exploit the strength of your tank. As I said, the easiest example, and then in the next game we will take a closer look at tanks which do not offer as much armor as this heavy tank does. And another shot. Nice. And let's see, the game is on the losing side, but we'll see what we can achieve. Unfortunately, we are not sitting in a medium tank or in a light tank, so we cannot outspot those adversaries. But at least if we continue to angle our tank, they will have a hard time penetrating our armor, and so that's what we want to do. Let's fall back. Let's reverse here. Fortunately, they do not take a shot, and so let's see whether we can take a shot onto this tank. Yeah, nice. Our ELC even 90 now is going to spot the other tanks, and so we want to fall back. There's a tank behind us. Those tanks are trying to flank us. Okay, so you know what? Let's turn around and let's see whether we can make one shot onto those tanks. Let's try to fully aim in. Here you go. And nice. We can take them out. As you can see, I always try to angle this tank to increase the chance that my adversary tanks will bounce a shot. And that's exactly how you want to play this tank. Now, as I said, of course, the armor profile of different tanks differs. And so you always want to go to tanks.gg or another webpage that you have available in order to find out the strength of the armor profile of your tank. And I simply cannot stress that enough. So let's see how it goes. Let's turn around. So far so good. Maybe if we can bring the fight to the city here, maybe we still have a chance of winning the game alongside with the Hori. Nice. There's the TS5. Very dangerous tank. No, he manages to light up the Hori 1. So yeah, he's taken out. That's not good. And so let's side scrape here. Let's side scrape and let's take here. Okay. ELC even 90 bounces. He has no penetration whatsoever. Okay, now he manages to take a shot. Let's take a shot into his lower hull. Nice. We can even track him. Let's try to angle the tank so that he cannot pen us. Here you go. He bounces. Excellent. And you know what? We will take a shot onto the WT on Panzer 4. He bounces once again. Now he's in a... Yeah, okay. And we are simply playing against multiple tanks. Of course, we cannot win this engagement, but I think the lesson is clear. We make one additional shot, so 3.7k damage. In the end, 3.8k damage blocked. And I think this was a good example of how you should play your tank if it offers armor. Alright, second game. This time we play the Iron Arnie. And once again, let's take a look at tanks.gg and see how the armor profile offers and where the weaknesses or the weak spots of this tank are situated. So, armor profile of the Iron Arnie. Basically, the tank is armored pretty nicely. Upper hull super strong, lower hull also relatively strong, not too strong, so you certainly want to hide the lower hull. It has, the problem of the tank is that apart from the super duper strong turret, it has some weak spots. So a super huge cupola that is easy to pen, and then some weak spots basically between the upper hull and the turret ring right here, here and here. This is the weak spot, as well as the side of the hull, which is not protected by this additional armor. So you have a very strong armor, but you always have the problem that there will be always some weak spots which you will expose in this tank. Even if you play hull down, yes, the turret ring will be smaller, not as easy to hit, but there will nonetheless be a weak spot in this tank. Alright, so the point that I want to make in this replay is sometimes you have a tank which has weak spots, which has, let's say, a certain amount of armor, but with some weak spots. Now, of course, you can still use the armor, but you have to conduct smart gameplay. What do I mean? So what you can do is you can peek out of cover ever so slightly, so that you will, so that the adversary tanks will not hit your weak spots. And then once they have taken a shot, you can then again peek out and use the reload time of those tanks in order to make damage on your own. So that's what you can do if you have a bit of armor. And this does not only work with the tank like with the Iron Arnie, but also with other tanks which have a tiny touch amount of armor. So that's exactly what you see me do here. Now I was a little bit too unafraid, I should say, at the beginning of the game, but now I'm changing my gameplay and I peek out only so much so that those tanks bounce, and later on we will see another technique that you can also use. So I think I will spot this tank as soon as he falls back out of cover, and then I want to be fully aimed in order to take a shot. So let's see. Yeah, looks like he has fallen back. I do not want to expose my tank. So you know what? Let's try to move out of cover ever so slightly so that I will not expose the weak spots of my tank. Here we go. I want to fall back and play cautiously because I do not want to take a shot from the WT on Panzer 4 with this 560 Alpha gun. Now the bad thing is I'm constantly spotted because I am close to the spotting circle, the little blue circle on the map. And as you can see, if you give your adversary tanks the chance of taking a shot onto your weak spots, as you can see, he managed to hit the cupola of my tank with HE, causing 512 damage. So that's not what you want to do. So instead, we need to flex our gameplay, and we need to find a technique that works in such a situation. Now, what do I mean? Here in this situation, the gun depression was not enough, so I need to drive a little bit more to the left in order to take a shot. Here you go. So what we need to do now in order to successfully fight against the GSOR tank is we need to peek out of cover, then instantaneously fall back so that he bounces on our shot, on our turret, and then we can use the reload time of our tank in order to make damage on our own. That's what we now want to do. So let's see whether it works. Okay, the IS, what is it? The IS-5 is going to a very strange position. You know what? Let's take a shot. No. I'm afraid of the GSO tank. Here you go. If he falls back, maybe. Nice. That's what I want to see. So let's see how it goes. Meanwhile, we are holding this position and we are buying our team time that it can use in order to win the game. So here you go. There's a light tank. He doesn't even hit our tank, but so do we. We also miss his tank. And so let's see how it goes. Let's see. Here you go. The gun of the Iron Ani is not the most precise one. That's simply the drawback of this tank. And I think the balancing factor. Here you go. Nice. 359. Little high roll. Excellent. So maybe we can get another shot. No. So yeah. So my second basically lesson learned is you can even work with armor even then, or even if your tank has you know, some weak spots alongside some portions with the stronger armor. Try to peek out of cover, fall back so that you basically bait your opponents to shoot your tank, bouncing a shot, and then you can use the reload time of your tanks, of those tanks, in order to make damage on your own. So that's what I am doing right here. And even though I lost quite a substantial amount of HP, this is what works out for me in this situation. So let's see. He is taken out. Excellent. So I can continue my gameplay in this position. And let's see. Here we go. He has just taken a shot. So maybe no. I can take a shot onto this tank. No, I cannot. Maybe onto his cupola. And I ricochet. Okay. Game is on the winning side, however, which is nice. He tries to brawl against me. And you know what? I'm thinking of simply pushing out this tank. Yeah, he has shot now. Nice. So I can use the reload time of this tank. He bounces as well. And I simply do not have enough gun depression in this situation. So I think it is now time to aggressively move out of cover. Jisoo is now reversing and taking on the fight with our teammates. And so what can we do? I think we will simply try to side scrape. Once again, baiting a shot. Oh, he has just shot, so we can simply now move out of cover and we should be able to take him out. Excellent. So yeah, in this video we saw an example of basically using our armor even though it has some weak spots. So let's now see what we can do if we have no armor whatsoever. Alright, third game. This time we play the M4A376, so the premium version of the tier 6 American Easy 8. Now let's first of all take a look at the armor profile of this tank. So armor profile of the M4A376 Sherman, as you can see, 80 millimeters. So yeah, nothing to add. You can side scrape maybe a little bit, but not too much. The turret is also pretty weak with 88 millimeters, and then the gun mantlet, yes, 178. Some portions are a bit stronger. Yes, you will bounce one or another shot, but you have a huge cupola, so in general the armor is not too great, especially if adversary tanks would load the premium ammunition, and then even if you play hull down, you have a huge profile which is easy to pen. Alright, so as you could see, this tank does not have any armor. Even the turret is super weak. Sometimes you will bounce a shot on the gun mantlet, but in general this tank has no armor. Now, of course, we cannot use our non-existing turret armor in order to do what we just did with the M47 Iron Ani. But the thing is, we can also brawl against other tanks, let's say in a different way. What we can do is we can peek out of cover and then instantaneously fall back to bait our adversary tanks to take a shot, hopefully missing our tank, and then this will give us the first shot opportunity. Now, as we arrive here first in this position, compared to the adversary heavy tanks, we will have the first shot advantage in this situation. So as soon as there is a tank peeking out of cover or moving around the corner, we will take the first shot and then hopefully pen this tank and then instantaneously fall back. So whereas the goal for the Iron Arnie game plan was to bounce shots with our turret, simply not allowing the adversary tanks to hit our weak spots, the goal in the Easy 8 is to basically always try to work for the first shot opportunity. And let's see whether we can take the first shot. Of course, I'm loading the premium shell because I want to reliably pen the adversary tank. Because if I bounce a shot, I will be on... Here you go. 2 shots. And I think I should fall back because he also has a very decent... he's just shot, so we can move out of cover. So this giving us the first shot opportunity. Nice, we bounce a shot, very lucky. And I think, nice, this gives us the opportunity of a second shot. Here's just shot, nice. And so we have once again the first shot opportunity, and it will be always the same. We will try to work on the first shot opportunity, and as soon as he has taken a shot, we know that the reload time is on our side, so we will have the next shot opportunity. So that's what I want to do in this game. I always want to bait a shot and then use the reload time in order to get the first shot opportunity. And then, see, here you go. You see me moving forward, moving backward, and that's what I want to see. I want to see him take a shot. Due to the fact that I did not expose my tank to make a shot on my own, I only gave him a couple of, let's say, milliseconds with only a couple of pixels that he could not hit. And then I fall back into cover. He took a shot, and then this gives me the first shot opportunity. So that's what you can do if you play a tank without any armor whatsoever. Now, in this situation, he managed to hit me and to basically hit my pixel, thus penetrating my tank because I do not have any armor whatsoever. That was a mistake. So let's see. He has not taken a shot. I cannot pen the side of the Churchill. He has now taken a shot. Excellent. And you know what? I have 2 tanks now, so of course I need to advance and I need to exploit the opportunity that I have, that 2 tanks are helping me out and are brawling against those remaining heavy tanks. So of course this is now a situation in which I want to consciously move forward, and here you go, take the Tiger out and then fight against this tank. Nice. And simply, you know what, use the chance of yeah, I bounce a shot of making damage. Nice, excellent. So yeah, 1185 damage, and I think this was a decent result, or a decent example of how to basically preserve your HP even if you are fighting in a tank with no armor whatsoever. So that's what you can do in order to preserve your HP. And you know, the good thing is, this is why I like to play tanks without any armor, because if you have the skills to preserve your HP, you can exploit the advantages that a tank without armor brings to the fight, which is usually mobility and also usually a much more precise gun. But of course you have to understand the let's say the tools in order to preserve your HP, because you cannot rely on your armor. Excellent. So you know what, let's now jump into one more game and take a closer look at an example of what you can do, what else you can do, I should say, if you do not have any armor in your tank. So, last game, this time we play the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, the tier 10 German light tank, which received a substantial buff and is therefore one of the strongest, if not the strongest, light tanks in the game. Maybe apart from, you know, pure spotting skills, simply because the camo value of this tank is lackluster, at least compared to tanks like the Manticore or even the AMX 13105 or the what is it, the Russian LT 100. So I want to showcase a game in which we use other qualities of the tank in order to preserve HP. I just showed you a game in which I explained how to bait shots and how to, you know, work in a 1v1 situation, even if your tank does not have any armor. Of course, the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen also does not have any armor whatsoever. It's a very boxy tank. HE can penetrate this tank basically on every side. And so we need to make a different approach. And the approach is to use the speed that this tank offers in order to make damage. So we flank our opponents. Here you go. And we missed the first shot simply because we did not concentrate enough. I wanted to track him, but looks like our damage potential is not high enough in order to track opponents. Now we even he is just shot, so luckily for us that he did not hit us, and so now we can exploit the fact that those tanks did not pay attention onto our flanking move. Here you go. Of course, we always want to use our HE ammunition with our increased penetration value against those lightly armored tanks in order to simply make more damage and to boost our DPM. And so, yeah, now take a look at the minimap and see what is going on, because I think very soon we will be able to make a flanking move. Now, every tank is spotted apart from the DBV-152 and also the other FV-4005, and of course the Leopard 1. But I think they will be either on the E0 position, or they will be in the typical TD position, which is the B5 position. So we are spotted, but you know what? Let's make our flanking move. And the thing I want to showcase in this video is, if you can find a spot in which you can flank your opponents, i.e. catch them by surprise, and in which you can always bring enough distance between you and the adversary tanks, then of course you do not have to have any armor in order to preserve HP. So that's what I want to showcase you in this video, and this is why I basically took this replay in order to showcase how to preserve HP. So we went to a completely unforeseeable position for the adversary tanks, and so we can simply make damage without having to fear that we will lose HP. So here you go, nice, another shot onto the whole Re3, and we can simply exploit the fantastic DPM of this tank. Of course, we now need to fall back. Yeah, he has just shot, excellent. He's now turning around, which gives us the next chance of making damage, excellent, and voila, 3.1k damage in a fantastic game. Let me see, bam, so 3.4k damage, excellent. And now we can even exploit once again the mobility of this tank. Now I'm a little bit afraid that the Leopard 1 will try to rush us. I think the Lion will be able to spot this tank, so I'm playing cautiously, because once again I do not want to play in a 1v1 situation in this tank. My technique is to fall back, to appear by surprise, and to flank other tanks, i.e. giving me a chance of making damage without getting shot. That's what I want to do in this tank. You know what? Yeah, he is coming with me. I want to make a little base defense, because I'm expecting the 2 objects for 30U, actually the 3 objects for 30U, to push into our base. And so I want to go to the rear of the map in order to defend our base. So let's see how it goes. Let's see where we can go. Our EBR-105 has not spotted any tanks yet, so chances are that those tanks already have fallen back. There they are, okay. Let me see. I think I will set up a defensive position behind this rock here. So if he moves out of cover, I will have the first shot opportunity, and then I can fall back behind this little rock here in order to be safe and not take any further damage. Yep, this would be the perfect exit for me if the object for the U driver plays offensively. So let's see how it goes. The game is on the winning side. However, we need to play cautiously because once again, we do not have any armor that we can bring to the table. Let's see. Okay, let's... looks like this tank has fallen back at least a little bit. Now with this bush, I will have the first shot opportunity. Here you go. That's what I want to see. Nice. Of course, with this ultra precise gun, you can snapshot or you can snipe like a god in World of Tanks. Here you go. Next shot. Nice. And we already made 4.1k damage. Excellent. Now I'm spotted, so I fall back, and of course I wait 10 seconds until I'm not spotted anymore. Looks like now our team is making pressure, so I do not want to miss the last chance of rushing forward aggressively in order to make more damage by myself. Because now we are in the end game phase, in the phase in which we simply want to make more damage and consciously trade our HP. See, I do not want to flip over my tank. Now, nice, fantastic. I can make another shot and he is taken out of the game. Excellent. So, you know what? I want to make more damage, but I do not want to drive into the gun of the FB4005. That can be done by my teammates. Sorry, guys, but I do not want to do this because I do not have any armor and he will simply slap me back into the garage. So here you go. Here's now a shot, and now I need to make sure to get a little bit more damage. But yeah, I think I showed you quite some decent examples of what you can do and how you should play in order to preserve your HP. And I think this is the goal of your gameplay. Basically, in every game, you need to preserve your HP and you need to make better trades compared to your opponents, and this will make you a better player. You will get better stats, you will get better results, and you will overall become a better player, because obviously if you preserve HP until the end of the game, you can then make decisive moves that help your team to win the game. Alright guys, that was it for today with the video about how to successfully save HP in World of Tanks. Did you find this video helpful? Do you manage to preserve your HP until the end of the game? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. This really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you find this video extremely helpful, then feel free to support me via Super Thanks. This way you can make a one-time donation. You just have to click this button underneath the video. If you adore this channel and you want to consistently support me, then consider subscribing to my channel or become a member, once again with the click of a button underneath the video. Thanks a lot, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.